Hello everyone. I was actually asked on Facebook because of some of my posts to do a pantry tour. So I figured I would go ahead and do that today. I guess we'll start with the top shelf here. This right here is where I keep my bulk spices. Most of the things you're going to see in this section of the pantry we have easy access to in the kitchen in jars, but this is where I keep, I guess you would call our overstock. We order our spices in bulk, mostly from Amazon, and I like to get the Frontier brand. And up here I have a big bag of rice that I get from Costco, the basmati rice. And here is our overstock of oats. I have some olive oil up here, and coconut oil and ghee. These are all extras, along with our extras of the dry beans and rice. Next shelf down, I have, I guess, what you would call our baking milks. It's a lot of coconut milk. Some's powdered, some is canned. Yeah, so over here I have, I like to make a lot of my own pre-made mixes. It just saves a lot of time, and I have some brownie mix, muffin mix, hot cocoa mix, and actually I even have dog treat mix back there. And over here I keep our beans so they're easy to reach. We have pintos, lentils, we have some quinoa also, and some basmati rice back there, and some masa for, I like to make my own corn tortillas. So that's basically what's back here. And here I have some condiments and some salt and pepper, some extras, and some canned pumpkin. I honestly don't know where I would be without canned pumpkin. I use that in a lot of my baking. And I have some coconut, baking powder, baking soda back there, extra cornstarch. And here I have our chocolate. I have a hard time finding organic chocolate chips, but so we just get this bag at Costco. And I normally buy Anthony's Cocoa, but I did find this Hershey's at Costco for a very good price. And here we have our coconut milk. We do drink a little bit of dairy milk, but we usually reach for the coconut milk, and I get that for a very good price at Costco as well. And let's move down here. I have our apple cider vinegars. I usually just use the Bragg's or the other one back here, which is actually 365 brand in the glass bottles. I was kind of disappointed at the other ones for being in a plastic jug. I don't really like to have my apple cider vinegar in plastic, but I'll probably just use that for cleaning. I have our sweeteners here. I have a lot of honey, different kinds. There's avocado honey back there. I have Manuka honey, organic raw honey. I do have some stevia there, and I really cannot get used to the taste of stevia, but I do put it in a few things. I really don't like it that much. Here I have our maple syrup and some extra molasses. Here I have our broths. I have some beef broth. I have some chicken stock, chicken broth, bone broth as well. And if you guys like bone broth, I actually try to make my own, but when I can't, this is actually very good. I got this at Costco as well. So yeah, that's a good option there. And also this, the Pacific. I don't like the taste of that as much, but if you're going to use it in cooking, then it's a good one. And over here I have an overstock of our jars. You'll notice in the kitchen when we go in there in a minute, I like to store a lot of our spices and things like that, and ingredients in jars. I also have a nice collection of jars downstairs in our long-term storage pantry, but these are what I keep up here to put some of our ingredients in. And down here on the bottom, I have the pasta bin. We try to go gluten-free whenever we can, but I do have some regular organic pasta down there. But I found this at Costco. These are made out of chickpea flour, and the ingredients are very, very clean. And this is the closest I have found to regular pasta. Usually they don't cook up very well. They have a weird texture and even a weird taste sometimes, but this brand, it's really, really good. The ingredients are wonderful. Sorry about the shadow. It's chickpea flour, brown rice flour, tapioca starch, and pea protein, all organic. So if you're having a hard time, if you're gluten-free, finding a good pasta, they probably have this on Amazon. I would check this out. It's Explore Cuisine. In the next bin, I have our raw sugar. I have not only raw sugar in there, I also have some brown sugar and some coconut sugar. We use a lot of coconut sugar. Here is my flour bin. I would open it up, but it's pretty overflowing in there. I have spelt, garbanzo, I have sprouted wheat flour, and up here, because it wouldn't fit, I also have the King Arthur whole wheat flour. And down here I have more coconut milk that wouldn't fit up there. And I also have our cornmeal. I do at least try to find non-GMO, but if I can find it, I like to get organic. So I know if it's organic, it's automatically non-GMO, but not the other way around. So I try to find the organic. We make a lot of cornbread, but if I can, I at least get the non-GMO. And over here, I have some vodka that I have hidden away that I like to use to make my own medicines, which you'll see up here. This is not all of them, but this is just what I like to have handy, and I make, yeah, there you go. I have turmeric, ginger, just different things. That's one pantry. This was actually supposed to be a coat closet, but since we had a pantry that's identical size beside it, which you'll see in a minute, we decided to go ahead and make this a pantry as well and just put the shelves in there. So on this side, open this up, we have another pantry, and this is the original pantry. We just have some cereals, granola, tortilla chips, and I don't want to call this pantry junk food. It's just where we keep most of our processed food, and we try not to use too much processed or canned food, but no one's perfect, and you can only try, and sometimes you just have to go with what is semi-healthy and convenient and just do the best you can. But here I have our bread. We love the Dave's Killer bread, some coconut clusters. Here's a nice little collection of tea that my daughter has, my oldest daughter. We have all of our dried fruit here, and you can see what I'm talking about with the jars. We have our nuts and seeds. Here we have our tuna, our salmon, and some canned goods, just some beans, tomato sauce. And I try not to buy pre-made pasta sauce. I like to try to make my own out of those. But this is just, you know, if I'm in a hurry, I like to grab that. We have some salsa back there. And here are my teas. I use these. Actually, the channel Colorful Canary turned me on to Mountain Rose Herbs. Their teas are so good. And all of their herbs are actually, and they're so cheap. I mean, they're organic. They are very well sourced. They let you know where every source is, where they get everything. It's a great company, even for essential oils, ingredients, and things like that. Have a little juice there, and this is my little stash for my kids of the Yum Earth Pops. They're organic lollipops, and they are great, and they're very inexpensive. Again, they're called Yum Earth. Down here looks like a little bit of a mess, but I do make my own Bath & Body products, so I keep my ingredients here. On this side, we have mostly just ingredients, you know, waxes, salts, clay, you know, coconut butter, things like that, and some Castile soap. And over here is mostly just supplies and extra containers and Epsom salts. And down here I keep my, wow, that really does look like a mess, real life here, small appliances, and I do have a little snack bin down here that I let the kids go through every now and then and just pick out a snack if they need one for the car or whatever. I try to get healthy ones, but as you can see, I do have some lifesavers back there. And then on the door here, this is where I keep, and I'm amazed at this rack that it holds all of this, because this stuff is very, very heavy when you add it all up. But this is where I like to keep my ingredients, my essential oils, and things like that. I have a lot of empty bottles up here. I have some things that I have stored away here, some oils that I infuse myself, some ginger, some turmeric, oregano, things like that. Here I have 2 shelves of essential oils, and I also try to keep a list here of kid-safe essential oils, because, you know, they're not really anything, excuse me, to be played with. They are medicine, and if you're not careful, you know, you can get a reaction, especially children and pets. So I'm very careful with my oils and what I use them for, and if you're interested in using essential oils, I definitely encourage it. but I also encourage you to educate yourselves on the oils and use them appropriately. And here I have some more herbs. Down here is where I keep, you know, some carrier oils, cell salts, vitamin E, sea salt, things like that to put also in my bath and body ingredients. So we'll go in the kitchen real quick, and just on my countertop I keep raw sugar, chia seeds, coconut sugar, and the sprouted wheat flour. And I keep the sprouted wheat flour up here because it's the one I use the most, and it's hard to haul up and down from the cabinet that I'm going to show you below. The coconut sugar and chia I use for my smoothies, and the raw sugar, you know, anything from coffee to baking and all of that. So down here is my baking ingredient cabinet, and you'll see my rolling pin and my rolling mat. And back in the back we have shortening, coconut butter, different types of flours. I have pastry flour, goodness, what else do I have? Sprouted spelt flour, garbanzo. I also have steel cut oats, popcorn, cornmeal, the gluten-free flour, the cocoa I normally use, rolled oats, maca, flax, chocolate chips, pretty much anything you'd need, baking powder, baking soda, sea salt, maple sugar, which, by the way, if you have not tried maple sugar, please try that. It's so good, especially on oatmeal. Vanilla and apple cider vinegar. So that's what I like to just reach down when I'm baking, and it's just there and it's convenient, and that's why I keep all of that down there. And up here, also easy to find, is my spice cabinet. And I keep pretty much any kind of spice you can think of. I mean, it's pretty deep back in each shelf, but that way it's easy to get to. I make my own little cinnamon honey and ginger honey, which we put on toast or in teas, and it's very, very good. And there's some sprouting seeds. I do like to sprout. Yeah, so I always have that Manuka honey handy. It's good not only to take internally, but to put on wounds. It's good stuff. You might want to do some research on that as well. But the Wetherspoon is a wonderful brand. So yeah, that is my, and I keep my little sprout chart up here. And the last thing I guess I'll show you would be beside my stove. I keep, you know, the things that you reach for the most. And I like to keep the ghee, it's back here. I have sesame oil, avocado oil, which I cook with the most because it does take the high heat without turning rancid. It has a high smoke point. And I have olive oil back here. I'm very particular, especially since the story came out about the fake olive oil. I know that Kirkland and Spectrum are two of just a few brands that are actually totally olive oil. So, you know, I have the Kirkland and the Pantry in there, and this is the one I'm using right now. So that's what I have. And the coconut oil, the best deal I can find is at Costco, the organic virgin coconut oil. It is, I think, 84 ounces, and I think it was $19, so it's a great, great deal. And then I keep my usual little spices here, and turmeric and all of that to add to food. I found these little mason jar tops, and they're very convenient. You don't have to unscrew your jars. You just flip it up and sprinkle it in your food, and it works wonderful. It's a little, they can be a little messy, but you can just dust them off, and it's not a big deal. Salt and pepper. These little wooden spoons are wonderful. They're very convenient. They're easily washed up, and that way you don't have to use plastic or metal, which I have nothing against stainless steel or anything like that, but I like having the little wooden spoons here. And then we have three types of honey. We have the organic raw honey, and then we just have regular honey, which is organic, but it's not raw honey. And I do like to keep local raw honey. This is made in Indianapolis. We live in Indiana, so it's always good to have some local honey on hand. And if you just need something real quick, you know, there's the organic honey, and then there's the organic raw honey, which comes in a 3-pack at Costco for, I believe, around $10. So that's a very good deal for raw organic honey. But if, hopefully this wasn't too boring for you, but that's what's in my pantry and in my cabinets. And if you have any questions about where I got something that you saw, please let me know in the comments. And I really hope you continue to watch. We're a new channel. We're gonna be uploading some more videos. We're called Ruby Ranch because we named it after my dog Ruby, who we love, and we're going to be moving to Ruby Ranch in 2 months. Our house is almost finished, and we've been working on getting out to our little homestead for about a year. So if you'd like to join us on our journey, please subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.